I am so excited to announce that I have partnered with Magimix for season 9 of the Crazy Sexy Food podcast. Magimix is a family-owned business that has the amazing reputation as makers of quality kitchen appliances that are adored by chefs and home cooks alike. I remember growing up and always seeing my mum's beloved Magimix on her countertop and the utter ease of how she used it. With their 30-year motor guarantee, these machines have always been built to last. They continue to be relevant as ever in the busy kitchen and make fantastic food processors that make your food go further and reduce food wastage. They are a godsend when it comes to batch cooking and using up leftovers. I use my Magimix every day. If you're ready to step into the world of Magimix with a new food processor, blender, ice cream maker, or any other bit of kit, then simply pop over to their website and use my exclusive code at checkout for a 15% discount. The code is MMCSF9. Don't forget to download the Magimix app, which is full of recipes, tips, and tricks. Make it with Magimix. Hi, and welcome to the Crazy Sexy Food podcast. I'm Hannah Harley-Young. This show is all about the love of food and how it plays a part in our lives. I sit down with well-known personalities, food experts, chefs, and people who, well, just love their food to find out all about their life, career, and their favourite tastes along the way. Today is a special one for 3 reasons. Firstly, it's my 100th episode. I have absolutely no idea how I got here, but it calls for a celebration. This leads me on to my second reason. I have my first mother and daughter duo. I am so close to my own mother and fascinated by the female bond, so it felt right to commemorate the episode in such a way. And so thirdly, but most certainly not last, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Anna Friel and her daughter Gracie onto the podcast. Anna has been acting professionally since the tender age of 13 and became a household name when she appeared on Brookside in the 90s. Since then, she has gone on to star in a plethora of films, TV shows, theatre productions, and even won an Emmy for her role in Marcella. Gracie, whose passion lies in music and performing, is fresh out of school with the world at her feet. Ladies, what an absolute honour to have you both with me at the kitchen table. Welcome to Crazy Sexy Food.
Thank you for having us.
First of all, thank you for coming to join me and celebrate this very special episode. I've made you cake.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a grapefruit yogurt cake that I made. Please, if you want to try it, do. If you don't, I won't be offended.
homemade.
She's
I think
going
we've
right
got
in.
something
Anna's gone right
right
in. Okay.
Grapefruit and yogurt, and you
Grapefruit and yogurt.
replace the bottle
Well,
with yogurt?
no, the yogurt, I think the yogurt's in there to sort of stimulate something or other. I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. There's tense silence.
Just in case you're not getting that. What's it called? What do you call it?
Chumming.
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 Chumming. Like, Mommy, you're chumming. Stop it.
So
Do you know what I
like,
think?
So I
recipe
have
of
to,
mine.
yeah, crisps, you have to be like this.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, so that there's an actual
not
sort
to
of
make the
thing. There's a
noise.
phobia of people crunching next to you, and I
think I
have
have
that with
that.
my mother.
Gracie's got it.
I have it with her more specifically. I don't know why. Really
She's
irritates
saying
me.
I'm a chummer.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gracie.
Sorry.
So will you ask her to leave, or will you move?
Not leave, I'll just say, I'll give her a look and be like,
Because I have to
doing
actually
it.
eat. One of us has to leave the room. I don't know who it's going to be, but not right now. But between like my mum and I or my husband, like someone has to leave. It just
Let's just get this straight. I'm not like a regular chummer.
No.
a chummer. I'm going to
That's
use
really attractive
this.
for everything like that.
I think I made the word up. I don't think
Yeah,
it's that.
yes, she made this one.
I love it.
Granddad sometimes can do that.
Oh, he's
Like-
the worst. I think it's like runs in the family.
Really? Oh God, that's a genetic thing.
No, it
So
depends
you
on what
might
I'm not
start
doing it
doing
now.
it, Gracie.
It's getting worse. the
Oh
older I get.
God, no. I personally think the cake needs a little bit more drizzle, but I think it's refreshing. It's nice with a cuppa,
I like the dryness.
I think it's delicious.
Oh, thank you.
It doesn't need icing or anything. It's
Okay.
really nice.
Thank you.
And is
Oh,
it relatively healthy because it's got yogurt in it?
exactly. And fresh grapefruit.
Mm.
And the drizzle is made from fresh grapefruit juice mixed with icing sugar. So it's really got that real punchy, acidic taste, which I love.
Delicious.
Oh, well, there we go.
I'm not really a baker. I don't really bake cakes. I cook, but I don't really bake.
Okay.
Nana does. Nana.
I can't really bake with the argan.
No, you
Because
can. It's the best.
I
It's
struggled.
best to
You know,
bake.
when you follow the online recipes and then I
Yes.
take it out and it's melted. I struggled.
Because it's
Bakes
you need to put it
differently.
in
You
the
need
yeah,
special
oven.
recipes
Yeah.
for it.
But we have Nana, my mother, and then we have Nana, who just
Okay.
turned 97 last
Oh,
week.
wow.
And she's the most fantastic cook. I get her to write all her recipes down. Of treacle toffee and ginger biscuits, and she makes the best cake. And still to this day uses lard and makes her own
Gosh.
bread.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
And Nana's gravy, you can't beat Nana's gravy.
No. And so do you have like a book of all of her recipes that you'll just sort of cherish?
Last Christmas, she said, "What would you like for Christmas?" And I said, "Nothing. I don't need anything." And she said, "Oh, please, I want to get you something." And I said, "Well, please, will you write your recipes out of my favourite things and tell me exactly how to do it?" And
Oh,
she
I
did
love
that. So that's
that.
a
Oh, I
prized
love those,
possession.
like, I was going to say, like, and like priceless,
Yeah.
something you can have. So I always start my chats with asking, what did
Mm.
you have for breakfast this morning?
Do you want to go first?
I'll start. I had eggs and toast.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
How do you have
Very
your eggs?
simple, scrambled.
Okay.
Yep.
And are you adding butter into that milk? Any
A
secrets
lot of
for
butter. I don't like yolk. I can't.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I can't do yolk, so I can't do fried, poached, scrambled. Is the only way I
Yep.
can take it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's that song? How do you like your eggs in the morning? It used to be on every
Oh.
day.
Yeah. I don't
How
know.
do
would
you like your eggs in the morning? Chris Evans used to play it every day
Yeah,
on
it's
the
just in the
on the way
morning.
to taking you to
Yeah.
school. She just finished school last week, so it's a very big time for us. I'm very proud of her. And
What a
she's
moment.
Oh.
Yeah, she's about to
Very
fly the
happy.
nest, which is incredibly exciting yet heartbreaking.
Oh my gosh, I can
Yeah,
imagine
it's
that,
come around
especially
so
for like a
quickly.
mother-daughter who is so close.
Yeah.
That must be a really big moment for you, though, Anna. I mean,
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. And I haven't underestimated it because I've talked it through a lot with my parents of what that was like. I kind of flew the nest a bit more gradually, but my brother went to university and I started work at 16. But Daddy said, yeah, he went into a semi-depression, I guess, for a few years because he just missed us being in the house so much. So I've
gosh.
been just dreading going, what's it going to be like? Even though you were away last week, it was just so
Yeah.
quiet. But,
No, I know that feeling because I remember when I did I was a bit of a boomerang. I left for like a year, then I came back for a few more years because I was like, oh, I dipped my toe in. I think I'll go back home for a bit. And then when I eventually left, I think my mum cried for 2 weeks. It was quite difficult to even like speak on the phone because it was just,
no.
it was in this weird, it was just, and also trying to find your footing. But you guys are close. I know what it's going to be like. It's going to be absolutely fine.
it is. We're going to
Figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
We will.
What did
So
you have for breakfast,
what did I
Anna?
know? Tangential, Anna. I had kefir with flaxseed, chia seed, and cherry juice.
Wow.
And that's really easy and quick. Gives me the nutrients that I need, and it's easier than making a regular shake that I have on most days, which my brother, who's a doctor, created for me when I was. How old was I? Been used two. So when I was about 30, and I
Okay.
just wasn't. We're doing 16-hour days. We're in LA, and I wasn't having all the nutrients I needed. It was too much sugar and coffee and going up and down. And my brother was like, no. And he was really ahead of the game. And it was coconut oil, frozen berries, spinach, carrots, flaxseed, chia seed, cherry juice, and I blended it
I'm
all up.
loving this cherry juice.
Cherry juice is such a. It's called the one I is called Cherry Active, and I like things that are quite tart,
Yeah.
but can sweeten in a healthy way, like coconut sugar, and it goes with everything. It changes savoury dishes around. It's brilliant on breakfast.
Oh, I'm going to buy some.
Anything that tastes really bad, you put that.
Okay.
An MCT oil, I've been using that. But yesterday you made me scrambled eggs on toast. And the day before that I had Weetabix. So it's changed.
I love
It's changed all the way. Today on Coming on Crazy Sexy Food, it was kefir.
And do you guys eat breakfast together? I mean, and the idea of sort of sharing meals, is that important for you guys to sit down and have a meal together?
I feel like breakfast, no, with school. Because I think even I'd struggle to eat breakfast in the morning, but you'd convince me to.
Yeah, I'd say, come on, most important meal of the day.
But dinner time.
Dinner time, we do dinner time, we eat together.
Yeah.
And you sort of, what does that sort of represent for you? Because I always feel, especially sitting down at the end of every day, I think is so important, whoever you might be with, whether it's talking about the good things, the bad things of the day. Is that sort of where you come together, where you've both been doing your own thing?
Well, we'll do school run in the morning and catch up there, and we have to leave about 7:30. No more.
I've had such so much work to do. I think the only time of my day where I had to relax and we had time to speak was dinner.
Yeah.
Because when I got home, straight to my room and work, and then.
And the only debate is, what are we going to eat? And I think that's the hardest thing as a working mother or father, is to come up with new ideas and what we're going to have that doesn't get repetitive. So you have your go-to meals that I know she just loves, and then I'll be trying to say, we're having fish, because she really doesn't like fish, which is completely opposing.
You don't like seafood?
At all. I can't do it.
Why? Have you had a traumatic experience?
No, I haven't. It's been from a young age. And it's weird because your side of the family, because my granddad, he's a fisherman.
Yes.
Everyone loves fish. Fish. I absolutely dislike it so strongly.
Oh,
I can't even look at fish.
Okay.
The only thing I can have is she makes like a salmon parcel, which I think I've been trained into eating, so I like that.
Which has maple syrup, sultanas,
you can't taste the
a
fish
bit of chili,
whatsoever.
so she doesn't. And when she was younger, David and I used to pretend that the chicken pie. The fish pie was chicken pie.
Oh yeah,
and
I've heard about that.
It's
one
not
before.
chicken. I was like, yeah, it's chicken. Great.
I caught onto it. Yeah, pretty young age.
Because it's important to put fish in your diet if you possibly can.
Yeah.
So we were so lucky because we had fresh caught trout or salmon most weekends, which to this day I absolutely love. But and everything I ate when I was pregnant,
I dislike now.
She hates now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's not. I don't know if it's linked to the pregnancy.
I think it's
just. I think it's I was a really, really fussy eater. Like dreadful. Would not eat. It was really hard to get vegetables down my neck, and Mum would make us, and Dad would make us sit at the table until we've eaten the vegetables. And my best friend Claire, I'd wait till they'd gone, and we'd be just we'd hide it behind the cup like that, and she'd eat the vegetables. Otherwise, I could be there for 2 hours.
So what you're referring to is your earlier life in Rochdale in Manchester.
Yeah.
So who was the primary cook when you were growing up?
Both parents, teachers worked the same hours, so it was shared equally.
And if you had to sort of think of a dish that represents your childhood or something that you used to be so excited to eat, what was it?
Definitely Irish stew, because it was a way to get us to eat vegetables, because there wasn't an overpowering taste of that particular vegetable, or big hearty soups. Always have a roast dinner, and as I was saying before, the fresh caught fish.
Gosh, that's how lucky you were to get that.
Really, and caught on a fly, and before all the fish farming, so you knew you were getting something really pure and rich and good for you. And good fish doesn't necessarily have to taste fishy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And more people should go to trout than salmon, because we've got that
really
salmon
like
crisis. Trout's really good for us, and you can do a lot with it.
Yeah. So sort of present day, Gracie, are you a cook?
In the past 3 months, I have become one.
Okay.
Yeah. I could only cook pasta from ages 13 to 16.
Right.
But I'd say this year specifically, I got a lot more into cooking. I made us dinner sometimes, and
you made some great dinners.
Yeah.
The stuffed pepper is one that you do. I really like that.
Yeah. Make like a taco, but instead of a taco, it's a pepper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, no, you need to tell me more about that.
Very good. I did that while I was doing the keto.
Okay, right. So this is what we were talking about before recording. Yeah. You've just come off 2 months doing the keto diet.
Yes, I did.
I'm, first of all, very impressed.
Thank you.
I think it's a tough one.
It's very tough, yeah. Because I think...
Thoughts?
The reason I did it is because before I did the keto diet, my diet was so carb-based.
Right.
Because I love rice, I love bread, I love pasta. I really like carby foods. To the extent that it was like
potatoes.
I'm not keen on potatoes.
I love potatoes.
All I would eat was carbs. So I was like, okay, I'm really gonna, go outside my comfort zone, just eat lots of meat. And I thought I had like a protein deficiency. Anyway, so I tried doing that, and it was hard to adjust to at the start. But it made me like cooking, because I had to find ways to make it work and make things taste good, and that's how I came up with the taco one.
So is it is it a raw pepper, or is it you've cooked the pepper?
I cooked it.
And then you're putting all the fillings.
And then I put sour cream.
Okay.
And then I get mincemeat and I season it. I just find things in the pantry.
And there's a lot of gluten intolerance in our family, and we were thinking, well, you keep getting tummy aches and all that.
Yeah.
Maybe if you take the gluten out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And she was under such pressure and
The main thing that
stress
happened
from the
was my
study.
skin, actually. My skin cleared up from doing it.
I've heard about this.
Majorly.
Yeah.
Because I would have so much gluten. Like you said, we have gluten intolerance in the family, but my skin completely just went...
Okay.
And I've tried all the skincare products and nothing ever worked. And that was the one thing against diet for me.
Okay.
Unfortunately. I don't know.
No, you're selling it to me.
Thank you.
I'll let you know whether I actually go through with it.
Yeah.
It's a commitment.
Yeah.
It's an extreme discipline. But what was it you made out of cheese?
The main thing was bread, because you can't have any bread, or so I'd melt cheese and use that as like a substitute, which is fun at the start.
That sounds fabulous.
But it's very good.
We're quite the dairy family.
It gets a bit salty after a while. Yeah, we have a lot of dairy.
So were you getting involved, Anna?
No, not at all. I couldn't believe her sheer discipline, because she was studying 12, 13 hours a day and then being so disciplined with her diet. And I think each was feeding each other. And you had all the mushroom powders as well. We started on the lion's mane in the coffee. And I think I was a little bit concerned, because things I'd read saying, I'm not sure this is healthy or good for you. But I think in short spurts, I think she was doing it for the right reasons, not to lose weight, but to be healthy and have a clean body. So it was almost like a reset. And you were actually eating more, because I think you're burning so many calories when you're studying.
More than I normally would while I was doing it, because you can only...
You don't have the carbs that also, fill you up.
All the time. Yeah. Cheese and
I can imagine the energy levels as well.
Very high.
Yeah.
Extremely high.
But no, I didn't do it. My diet's relatively healthy.
What are your specialities at home?
What do I make myself eat, or what do I like to cook?
Oh, okay. What do you like to cook?
What do I like to cook? Spare ribs. I've quite a good secret recipe for that.
Okay.
I use applesauce and maple syrup and tons of garlic, so they're really sticky and fall off the bone. But it's all about the produce, where you get the meat from.
And is there any food that you dislike?
Oh gosh, yes.
Go on, give me some.
It's everything that I like. Yeah. It's hard to eat together.
Can we call tomato ketchup a food?
Yeah.
So
this is a thing.
If there was, since I was a kid, I've never eaten tomato ketchup, and it was I don't know if it's some kind of phobia, but if there was I was really hungry and there's a big plate of fries, but someone puts ketchup all over it, I'd be really frustrated, going, well, it's ruined now, I can't eat it, it's got the ketchup. Mayonnaise, can't go near it.
Okay.
Brussels sprouts, I absolutely can't bear. Apart from in LA once, I went to a restaurant and they took each leaf off and fried them, and there was lots of garlic involved, and they didn't taste Brussels sprouty. And I think that came from school dinners when they were overcooked. Coming home once, and the mum had overcooked the Brussels sprouts, and that smell just... It's all about association, isn't it? Our association with food, I think, is remarkably emotional, and more emotional than I think you'd first think.
Completely. There's actually a name though for the not liking the ketchup and the mayo.
Is there?
I'm gonna find it out afterwards, but there's an actual name for not liking like condiment sauces.
Oh.
So I've got a name for you.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so you are not alone out there.
Really?
Yes.
And say it's here, if you're naughty and have a McDonald's burger, people think I'm insane, because I was like, can I have it plain? And now you can order
the meat.
You can order on delivery, so you can go, and it just goes, no. Yes. And my friend ordered it the other day, because every now and again you order a naughty takeaway, which I know isn't good for us, but sometimes it's a comfort and it's nice. And they even forgot to put the patty, and it came literally just with 2 pieces of bread and all the condiments. It was like my worst nightmare. Definitely wasn't eating that one.
You.
I know.
Oh my God. And then so before I sort of get on to some other topics, what 3 items are always in your fridge?
Cream,
not ketchup.
cream, butter, and milk,
and cheese. That's 4. We've got cheese there, because that would last and never goes out of date.
Yeah.
Raspberries and blueberries are always there.
Yeah, I like.
Usually chicken breast. We tend to buy that a few times a week.
Yeah.
Nice and healthy. I like it's a good range.
There's always bones in the freezer, because I make lots of bone broth, homemade bone broth. And I've been doing that for years, just because it's a really good base for a risotto or your stew or your soup or bolognese. If you can just have that, if you're doing nothing in the day, I boil it.
Completely.
away like on a, looks like a big cauldron.
There's nothing
and Gracie
like it.
hates the
Yeah.
smell, hates the
Well,
bones.
I hate the smell
Not very
of.
appetizing.
Well, the thing is, I don't mind like a chicken carcass. I cannot stand the smell of like other meat bones cooking.
Well, come to my house,
Oh,
Hannah.
no.
You're going to love
Smells
it.
so good.
Like,
I mean, big, huge bones.
No.
Because, although otherwise they get thrown away. So I go to the
know.
farm shop and say, please
You
don't
ask
throw.
them
I ask them,
specifically.
and they
Yeah.
go, would you like your bones, Annie? Yes, please.
Yeah, my husband does that. He'll just buy just a bag of bones or just ask the butcher to bring. And I'm like, oh God, no! Can you do it somewhere else?
That was my nickname on a job I did last year. But Beth Tito, her nickname for me was Bone Broth. She's like, hey, Boney. I was like, what's that? She's like, you're always boiling bones.
I can just imagine you with your cauldron. Just like...
Yeah. Whoop. And you have to roast them first.
Oh wow!
You roast the bones
Okay.
and you get much more flavour out of them once they're boiled.
Here we go. You learn something new every day.
Oh, so fascinating.
So I sort of want to take it back a little bit. You made your professional acting debut age 13 and you were acting alongside Michael Palin at the time.
Yeah.
I'd love to know sort of what that period was like. You know, what do you remember from those days?
At age 13, I'd been going to the Oldham Theatre Workshop for about, I don't know, a year. And you automatically got an agent. And my poor parents had to drive 3 nights a week, about half an hour journey. And it was all day Sunday, 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. And I mean, how far do I go back? Had, I think, 6 auditions for that for GBH and got it. And it was 10 weeks off school. So that's when
Wow.
a transition started. And I had a chaperone, and you weren't having school dinners or packed lunches, and you tell the chaperone, oh, we're really hungry, but we only want cake. Sugar intake was way too high. Crisps, ate way too many crisps. To this day, I'd prefer a crisp over something sweet.
Just wait till the end of this conversation, Anna. You're going to be in absolute luck.
And then understanding set catering and how they can differ depending on what set you are and what budget they're given. Coming home and really appreciating Mum and Daddy's home cooked food.
You know, you've had this incredible career that sort of spanned this whole time. You know, from there, you were in Coronation Street, Emmerdale. You finally took on the role of Beth in Brookside. That was like my 90s show. I was watching it. I was a fan.
You're too young.
But thank you. But there's a few grey hairs under the balayage. But, you know, I guess what I'm fascinated by is this life of an actor, because it is a very different format of a life. You know, it's kind of, you're filming for X amount of months and then you sort of step back and it's the process. And I sort of just wondered how you have adapted your life to that, really.
So I think as you get older, you realise the cost. And of course, I'm immensely grateful for every single opportunity I've ever been given. And I think as you get older, you realise how quickly time passes. And I think I've emigrated perhaps, I don't know, that exaggeration, 24, 25 times. I've lived in Canada 4 times. Gracie spent age 2 to 5 in Los Angeles. So she started school in LA. I've lived in Sweden and Italy. We're in Ireland for 6 months.
And what was that like, Gracie, kind of travelling the world, I guess, with Mum?
I have enjoyed it because, like you said, we lived in America for 3 years, and I went to a school called the Little Red Hollywood Schoolhouse.
Oh, what a brilliant
Because
name.
that's like a movie. It's like a little
wow.
movie school. And one of the classes was farming fruits and vegetables in the garden. You know, nap time. I loved it.
Yeah,
Can I go back?
I know it was really
wanna
kind of
go back.
it was great. In fact, I remember at the studio getting a call one day. They're saying, "The little bit of a problem. You've got to get back. There's a wild shooter, and Gracie's locked in the
yeah.
school." I was like,
What?
Yeah.
Yay! What? That was. I remember that not being the most relaxing day. Because it was so new to hear something like that.
Gosh.
I went to when I was in England, I went to an international school, so I've never really been, surrounded by English culture, really.
Okay.
And then I went to an all-girls Catholic school in Ireland for a year after going to an international school
Wow.
for 4. So I enjoyed it very much. It was very fun.
So Gracie goes, and for the majority of her
now
life
I'm
has
back to
been
an
at an international
international
school.
Okay.
So the last 4 years when she's been doing the international baccalaureate, we didn't have the freedom to travel and come with me. So I was working in Atlanta for 9 months, and she stayed at school and stayed with Daddy. And it was only meant to be for 4.5 months and ended up being 9. So we were apart for a long time. But there's pros and cons to everything. It's such an amazing way to see the world and be introduced to different cultures.
Absolutely.
And you're there for long enough to actually get to know those countries and meet brilliant crews. So
I can imagine.
Immensely grateful for that.
And also the food. I mean,
All-
you know,
all
when
of
you're
the food,
traveling the
right.
world and you're spending that considerable amount of
Yeah.
time, I guess you sort of adapt your eating to where you are.
Yeah, you do. And genetically modified products that you could come across.
Yeah, the US was crazy.
Yeah, because
I had to visit
at first I think, wow, look at these perfect apples, and it's all so clean, and they're this big, and look at those strawberries. And then it's not until you do a bit of research going, how is it so perfect? How do you get strawberries that big? And then you dig a little bit deeper, and often it's because they're genetically modified.
And you mentioned a minute ago, which is something I'm always fascinated about when I sort of talk to actors, is set food, catering. And you said it kind of changes according to the production budgets. What are your thoughts on catering when you're on set?
So as earlier on, I talked about every day bringing a shake with me, and that was just to make sure that I had everything that I needed, because when you're operating at a very focused level, sometimes you can forget to get hungry, and that's not good for us. So I'd find the juices would be easier to sip throughout the day. Especially if you've got a fight scene or a very emotional scene, you don't want to start with a big heavy stomach. But again, it very much depends on the production. I think in the US, it was really spoilt. You'd have open barbecues with sometimes tuna steaks and fresh steaks, and then sometimes they'd say, Anna, what do you feel like today? And I said, really just like a chicken sandwich. I think the hardest habit to kick was I'd go in with every intention of being very, very healthy, and then you'd smell the bacon, and it was 6 a.m, and he'd been shooting till 11 last night, and go, the cafe or the bacon sandwich? Just like 2 slices of bacon, maybe a sausage on the side, and what are the nice fried potato things called?
A hash brown.
Yeah, and just a hash brown.
Yeah, why
and then
not?
you realise you start to get doing that every single day, and you're like, no, you've got it. It requires discipline.
Like America
there was one set that
pretty
did little
good.
juices. They did little.
The most.
Yeah.
So I came to visit her on set because you don't really get things like that in England.
Yeah.
Craft service. Oh, she
That's it. Craft service.
And it was just like sugar.
So that's like an open free talk shop.
Yeah, and is that like a table with just like all the everything you could think of?
An entire trailer.
What?
Yeah, with every, especially if
they had like trays of every kind of gum ever invented.
Oh, stop.
And Lucky Charms.
Oh gosh.
Then they had just the marshmallows.
And noodles.
Love it, you're getting so excited thinking about
Think about it every night. That's being the keto.
You just mentioned Atlanta, which is where you were shooting your the new show Monarch.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, and did you get to eat much around Atlanta?
It was fantastic catering. I went out in 9 months. I went out twice because the hours were that long. So it was by the end we were 6-day weeks and 16 hours a day.
Okay, very intense.
This number 16 was really important on that job. Recorded 16 tracks because music's a massive part of our life and family. And when I was younger, I was offered quite a lot of opportunities around music, but it was
your
never
father was in a band.
My father's excellent. So he fly fishes in his spare time. It's one of his hobbies. But when he was younger, he was in a band, and he kind of gave up his love of music for a more solid career with my mum. But the house was always filled with musicians. He's a great guitarist. He plays the mandolin. He plays the piano, and he writes his own songs. He's a great singer. Got a great voice. This one's inherited it.
Yes, which actually does bring me on to the fact that you do have a huge interest in music. Is this what you want to do? Is this your ambition to sort of get into the industry?
Maybe not as a singular profession, but I'd like to do something with music at some point. My granddad got me my first guitar when I was about 6 or 7, and then I had lessons for 4 or 5 years, and then from then on it's just my main hobby. I love it. It makes me happy.
And so are you singing and playing at the same time? Or is that a specific genre that you're
I write a lot of songs with singing and guitar. So
Yeah.
I'm getting better the older I get. I think when I used to try and write songs when I was like, 13, it'd be to sound cool. But I think I understand the lyrics the older I get.
I think one of the talents I appreciate the most is a songwriter. I think it's just...
And it's such a wonderful way to
It
communicate.
is. It really is.
She'd come in from school and go, Mummy, is it okay if I go upstairs and play guitar? And you think, is it okay? There's nothing more I would love. And then she comes down an hour later with the most exceptional song. And it's not just being a proud mummy. It's really good. It makes me cry. And it's so lovely to have the house filled with the sound of your song and your guitar, and great guitar playing as well.
Thank you.
Well,
It was her dad's 60th recently, and she wrote this one song. She said, "What do I do? He's away in Australia. What can I get him?" And she went upstairs, and an hour later came down with the most beautiful song for his birthday, because his birthday's on the spring equinox, and she wrote a song called Spring. And Daddy was spring.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so, obviously you've just finished school. What's the plan now?
Well, I did 2 years of IB, which was dreadful. I mean, I appreciate it now, but those 2 years were
Dreadfully hard work.
dreadful. No, it was great. Love IB.
Yeah.
But it was just like no sleep, work. My results come out July 6th, so
Okay.
I'm kind of determining everything.
Fingers crossed.
Are you aware of the IB?
Yes, my brother did the IB.
So was he at international
He
school?
was at an international
Yeah.
school. I'm not sure why he was at an international school.
And one of the reasons for choosing that form of education is because there are other children in the school, a majority who are nomads like ourselves, that you'd be constantly moving country, and also you get just an amazingly rounded international education, and the most delightful children and wonderful parents. Her best friends are Cuban and Ecuadorian, and so experience when we go around to their houses or they come towards. We in the pandemic we bubbled with them. They say you can come over and see you experience Cuban food, and we had a Puerto Rican chef cook for us recently who's got a restaurant in Puerto Rico, and he said come to the house, and everything was truffle risotto.
Oh yeah, all right.
It was
I'll take that.
and wagyu beef, which I've never tried in my life. It melted in
Melts
the mouth.
in your mouth.
I love that when you can transform textures of food. I find that. Have you used it at the Fat Dock?
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes. That's an experience,
Isn't it?
Beautiful.
And what about the Sportsman? I ate there. I went to Whitstable.
Oh my God, I'm desperate to go there. Someone was talking to me about it the other day.
In the great oyster bar on the beach. So I went there last. So I was shooting in Whitstable, doing a movie in February, March, and I'd never been to Whitstable. And the restaurants and the food and the cafes, it's a great day out.
Okay.
And oysters I've only just started eating. You don't like oysters, do you?
Can't even think about it.
Because we were falling into the shellfish territory of that.
No, so I was being a little
Anything
bit
that's been in
ironic.
the
I was like,
sea,
and she loves caviar.
Yeah, do you like you wouldn't eat caviar?
Well, no, recently I got invited out to, when I was in New York, we got invited out to dinner, and we were in the lift, and he goes, "Oh, it's a sushi place," and I think it's the first time I've ever had to like socially conform to liking food, because at home you can be like,
yeah, of course,
I don't want that, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get there. It's the best performance I've ever put on, and I picked up this piece of sushi, and I was like, so good, and it was caviar and eel.
Oh God, you went right into the deep end.
I thought it was chicken. Teriyaki.
What did you do?
So I ate it, and I was like, oh, so
Did
good.
you eat it?
But no, I didn't. And then I had a cough in my napkin. Yeah, I really enjoyed that meal. It was so
Sounds
delicious.
fabulous.
Do you like sushi?
I love sushi.
I wish I liked sushi.
I eat everything but mushrooms.
I would only eat mushrooms till I was 4 years old.
Wow.
And Marmite.
Oh, I love
Marmite and mushrooms. That's the only two things I'd eat.
Would you eat them together?
Well, explains a lot. That girl ate too many mushrooms.
Yeah, I
cannot love all kinds of mushrooms.
What's weird though is that I won't eat mushrooms, but I love truffles.
Oh,
so I think I'm sort of working it out. It's obviously something to do with the texture, the consistency. It's just not for me. It's a shame because I understand the appreciation of it and people love them, but
I don't caviar.
Love caviar.
No.
Oh yes.
And only recently tried oysters when they had to be really fresh with lots of vinegar. And,
yes. Oh, I love
not onion on it, so you can't really taste the oyster.
I'm surprised you like oysters.
Oh, but only recently because
I like the texture of it.
I didn't eat an avocado. Avocado. No, don't add that D. Really hard to say sometimes.
Avocado. Oh yeah.
Avocado. Sometimes you get avocado.
An avocado.
The
Oh,
D's
yeah.
there.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Sometimes you do say an avocado.
Yeah, avocado.
Do you like avocado?
Only I had my first one when I was 6.5 months pregnant,
And now I like them.
and now I love them.
You don't like them?
No.
Of course, because you were in the tummy.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah, tomatoes till I was 30.
Don't like tomatoes.
Do you know you won't eat tomato?
And like ketchup.
She loves ketchup. And baked beans.
Yeah. Oh,
I really like baked beans.
I must ask, when you are away, what food do you miss most? Or foods?
It's a really good question. I always take tea bags because I find it difficult to get good tea bags, just some basics. And the texture of the chicken that we have here.
Okay.
I don't know, it depends where I am and where we can source the materials or the ingredients. But I always bring Marmite tea bags and crisps sometimes.
God, Anna, you and I are about to become best friends in a minute. When just wait. Okay. This is going to come at the end. I'm like trembling with excitement about this. And I agree with you. Tea bags, absolutely. Because there is something about a good cup of tea.
Do you have sugar in your tea?
No.
We have honey in our tea. And the number of people that I've introduced honey in the tea to, they now can't have tea without honey.
I used to have honey in my coffee.
I have honey in my coffee.
Hey.
The last holiday I had was a year ago, and it was in Sardinia. And they have a very specific honey that's quite bitter. When you add it to coffee, it completely transforms in taste, and it makes the best coffee ever.
Oh wow!
I'll have to get the name of it for you. But it's black, almost like a treacle.
Oh, gorgeous! Yeah, I find the sugar just is too much, too harsh.
You don't really need sugar.
No, you don't need
and once you find out sugar's really aging, you're like, where's every different alternative possible?
Exactly.
Gosh,
I know you don't like favourites, but where are some of your favourite restaurants or places to eat out?
I think restaurants that you frequently visit become your favourite. So we live in Windsor, so there's a few that I go to. I love my roast dinner. Yeah, we like it. There's an Italian called Sebastian's, and they get Italian chefs and they cook right in front of you, and everything's just very, very fresh, and the best pizza. I like very thin crust pizza.
Yes.
And there's a great Moroccan there called Al Fassia, which I've actually introduced a lot of the locals to recently, going, have you not been? Because they do, can't believe, and they do a great takeaway tagine as well.
Oh, wow.
So it's just very comforting and hearty food, and they get, their sister restaurant is in the centre of Marrakesh, and all their herbs and spices come directly from Marrakesh.
Oh, wow. So
they do the drive and they bring them, so it's really authentic.
So they've got Marrakesh and then they opened in Windsor.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's been there for about 20 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's really lovely. And there's so many
Where do you like going?
I'm not really a restaurant person. The one place that I went to, because I'm so picky, it's hard for me with restaurants. I went to Bao Bar in Borough.
Yes,
which
I know it.
Really liked.
Love a bao bun.
Yeah, I really like bao buns.
Mark Hicks at the Groucho.
Yes.
Which is just, his breakfast is becoming quite famous now because it's in 16 different countries.
Yeah, and I've loved all of his restaurants over the years.
Yeah, and he's just a great guy.
Great guy, amazing character. The food is just honest, great British food.
Yeah,
I love it.
And where else have we? I've been so lucky. We've been on, we've been at certain occasions when we've been cooked for by just the most wonderful chefs. Angela Hartnett's cooked for us is just absolutely amazing. A most gorgeous woman. She's delightful. Really like her. Yeah. And just an extraordinary cook. Good sushi. Remember there's this little tiny place in LA above a shopping mall. It was the tiniest little place, and one of the producers said, you need to, or the creator of the show actually, said you must go and try this sushi place. I was like, no, I'm not a big sushi fan. He said, just go and try the sashimi. Start very basic and try the tuna and the salmon. And he said, it tastes like cheese. I thought,
what?
I don't know if that's tastes like cheese. And I didn't know if he meant the texture, but when I tried, it actually tasted like cheese because it just melted in the mouth.
It wasn't Sushi Park, was it?
It's tiny.
It is tiny. And is it in West Hollywood?
Yes.
I know exactly.
And you can only fit about 12 people.
Yeah, it's very well known.
In there. Is it?
It is. It's actually one of the top places.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But it doesn't look, it's not flashy.
It's really nondescript.
The most incredible sushi ever. So I set the bar high in that instance.
But I also feel if you don't love sushi, you've got to go somewhere like that to know that you're going to get sort of the top of the top.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess around.
You really don't.
No.
Yeah.
I also think with sushi as well, like, you know, you're eating raw fish. Like, I've got to go somewhere that,
you know that the produce is fresh and clean.
Yeah, because otherwise I'll never eat it again.
No.
You know.
Have you ever had a bad experience with fish?
Not with sushi. I've had it like with, I very nearly had a situation with oysters, but I don't know if it was the oysters. I think it might have been the amount of alcohol.
I just smiled as I thought about the pork cheek.
Oh God, yeah.
What happened to
What happened
with the
bad
pork
experience.
cheek? A pork
Can't
cheek?
eat pork anymore.
Yeah, we went to a really fancy restaurant. It was really nice, and there was nothing basic, put it that way, on the menu. So they said pork. I was like, well, she'll eat pork, but it was pork cheek.
It was just advertised to me as pork. So
yeah, so it's just pork. Like
Okay,
it's just,
yeah. It's actually a very lovely. It's a lovely part of the animal.
Delicious.
Yeah, but maybe potentially a little bit rich for a
Right.
12-year-old. But there
Wasn't a
there
good
were no
night.
burgers. There was no pasta. There were no simple dishes, and she needed to eat. But we were getting on a ferry after to the
Oh,
Aran
no.
Islands, so
Yeah.
it wasn't maybe
Oh no.
the
Don't eat
best.
pork anymore.
No. But I learnt my lesson by saying, hey, they'll be fine, because there was a bit of an explosion in the middle of the night on the white tiles, and it was so
Makes
bad,
fun.
I don't think I'd ever eat that again.
And that was the end of the pork
association.
The other day, we were deciding what to eat. She goes, "Let's have some pork cheek."
No, I didn't say cheek. I said, let's have some pork. And you went, no. I was like, no, it's not the cheek. It's
Yeah.
not.
Too rich for me.
God.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You will have those. We will always have those moments. I mean, there's certain things I probably think of, and I'm like, I could just not eat that again.
No.
It's like we're done. The
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
I think once you've had one traumatic experience,
Yeah, it's all just association.
Totally.
But the same with the things that are comforting, are going back home and lying in front of the fire and having potato cakes or crumpets
Crumpets.
with lots of
And potato cake.
butter. I know you love potato cakes.
When we lived in Ireland, I'd have potato cakes, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Not eating them
She
anymore.
loves a carve. I love it.
Nana makes good potato cakes, doesn't
Yeah,
she?
she does. I like that.
And Nana makes, my mother makes great dessert. She used to make this thing called, a dessert called, we just called it the chocolate thing. And she'd
Okay.
made up this, and it tasted like the inside of a very particular Thornton's chocolate. It was like the, can't remember, they were Viennese something. And it was like a frozen version of the inside of that
Oh,
chocolate.
beautiful.
It was, yeah. And I'm not really a sweet person, but I like that. I'm definitely a dark chocolate type
Yeah.
of girl.
Same.
Yeah.
And so I've got the question here. You're a dessert person. So you would be a starter over a dessert.
You're not very much a dessert.
No, I'm not really. I like a fresh meringue, fresh cream and raspberries. So when fruit's involved, I just don't
Yeah, I
like
like
things that
fruit
are too
things.
sweet. But yeah, I'll probably go for starter as a dessert.
Okay. Right. I end my conversations with a quick fire round.
Okay.
This is probably going to be it is always the most quick fire questions, but we'll try. Okay, the first question. What is the craziest food you've ever eaten, Anna?
Horse.
Oh, okay.
No, just quick fire.
Where were you?
Snake.
Rattlesnake?
I've had that too. Horse. I know that sounds. It was
Well, it is
on a
eaten.
French
It's
exchange.
eaten
On a
on
French
mainland
exchange,
Europe.
I was 11 years old. I was absolutely starving. I was living with a family in France. It was normal. It was actually a big treat to be given cheval. And I said, "Oh, qu'est-ce que c'est ça? C'est de bœuf, hein?" No, Anna, c'est cheval. And I understood that to be horse, and I couldn't eat. I'd taken one mouthful and thought, "Oh no, I'm so hungry," but I just couldn't bring myself to finish the dish, and I think that it was quite rude. But and in Canada, rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake.
Yeah.
I've never had that answer before. What's the texture?
Really, really chewy. A
Yeah, I
bit like
think so.
calamari.
Yeah. Oh,
And it was again, someone had cooked it, and it would have been really rude not to try, because in our culture we wouldn't
Of course.
necessarily eat either
Yeah,
of
yeah,
those
yeah.
two things.
Gracie.
Probably the thing for my 9th birthday, for some reason I got many lollipops with insects inside them.
Oh, okay.
It's a really good birthday for me.
It
And
wasn't a gift from
yeah,
me.
it wasn't for yeah. No, it wasn't for
Like chocolate lollipops
I don't
with,
know, I'm not very I'm so picky with my food.
What insects are we talking about?
Centipedes.
Did you eat them?
I ate them.
And?
Couldn't taste them. They were too
It was too
very-
and
sugary.
those chocolate crickets. Remember that?
Chocolate, yeah.
Yeah.
With dried bugs. some reason.
Oh,
I think
gorgeous.
that's
Love that.
the craziest
Very
thing I've
high in
ever-
protein, apparently.
Well, there you go.
Well, another crazy thing, sweetbreads. I didn't quite understand
What a
that.
sweetbread.
Not for me, that
What
one.
is a sweetbread, Hannah?
It's offal. It's what is sweetbreads is the no
Go
wait, Anna just sort of pointed to a part of her anatomy. Are you talking about, is it the testicles? Yeah, it's testicles. Is it sheep's testicles? Yes.
Sweetbreads.
It's sheep testicles. I knew it was something of
Yeah.
that region.
And Nana used to have, my Nana and Grandad used to eat tripe.
Oh no!
You ever
okay.
tried it? That?
Don't get me started on tripe. That's unacceptable.
big
I'm really
offal- I'm not a
sorry.
big offal
It's just no. No.
I know
Okay.
all the nutritional benefits, but no. Not of the tripe,
No.
but of any kind of offal.
Okay. Next question. I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
What has been your most memorable meal?
My most memorable meal would probably be actually last year. My
Okay.
friend's from Italy, and she took us to this really small Italian restaurant. It was like proper Italian, you know, because here you get like commercialized.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it was 4 of us, and we ordered about 11 different pasta dishes, and it was like a ceremony. And once all the pastas had come, there was not one word spoken for about 2 hours straight, and it was just everyone eating. And I think that's the most. That's the one time I've sat down. I've really enjoyed food. You know, I think that.
And where was that?
It is in Rome.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, the
one
pasta
of my
in
favourite
Rome.
cities
Yeah.
in the world, easily.
Yeah.
Your most memorable meal?
I think I had the most memorable shop as opposed to
Okay,
Mine
I like
is
that.
also Italy and Sardinia, and I just got the fresh big bunches of basil and the creamiest mozzarella and the freshest tomatoes. I remember a meal of oranges in Dea. The oranges were so nice. I was really greedy, and I ate 10 of them, and woke up with a mouthful of ulcers, which serves my greed absolutely right. So, you know, you can have too much of a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was worth it, to be honest. Right, this is the moment I've been waiting for now that I found out something about you. My favourite snack of all time is a packet of crisps. Have you noticed what's sitting?
I saw that from the beginning.
This is my favourite flavour of all time. I mean, I would do bad things for these.
Would you?
Yes. So, Anna, what is your favourite flavour of crisps and why?
Oh, there's so many to choose from.
You can give me multiple.
Okay, I could just go through loads
Do
of them.
it.
I'm a massive crisp fan.
Oh, yes.
Oh gosh, the bacon frazzles. I really like.
Old school.
Yeah, I really like old school, and salt and vinegar chipsticks.
Yeah.
And Worcestershire sauce French fries.
Oh, wow.
And beef munch to munch, and salt and vinegar square crisps. And I also like a pickled onion munch to munch. And I sometimes will take a Cheeto from you. They're good.
You have named some elite crisps. Because those are like, I always sort of categorize, I mean, I've categorized these, I love these, but they're sort of like not your sort of, you know, premium sort of, you know, thick cut potato chip where you're talking like dirty, proper.
Swim in bath, get it from the vendor kind of crisp.
Exactly, totally. Oh, brilliant list.
And have you ever crushed them all together and make a mix of all those things?
Like a little
as
salad.
kids, that's what we used to do. Like we'd crunch it all down, mixed it up. So instead of the crisps down to about there in the packet, and you'd get a mix of flavours and textures.
I'm going to try that.
Oh, it's really good.
Do you like crisps in a sandwich?
I've had them. It's nice. I don't allow myself that anymore.
Okay,
but when I was younger, we used to eat raw cake mix.
Okay.
We would never even cook the mixture, and because you know you like to lick the bowl.
Yes.
I don't know what this is saying about me. All the crisps, and instead of licking the bowl,
cake batter.
No, we just make the entire cake batter, and we'd go and sit on the top bunk. Me and Claire, we talked about it the other day, saying, "Can you believe the amount of sugar we used to eat?"
Wow.
Yeah,
I love that.
and just eat the whole mixture without cooking any of it.
Gosh.
I don't know how we didn't get
sick.
I mean,
I totally see the appeal, because that was me in the kitchen with my mum, and she would tell me off because I was taking it further than licking the bowl.
Yeah.
You know, literally with the ladle.
Yeah.
Okay, Gracie, favorite of crisps. Favorite flavour of crisps.
I'm really sorry. I don't think I'm the biggest crisp fan.
No,
But you know what I do
you
like?
have to give me an answer.
I love Cheetos.
And that, when you mention that,
crispy cheese Cheetos.
so you like the crispy ones
Yeah, I
rather
don't
than
like
the
puffy
puff ones.
I only like the ones that you can't get here.
Yep.
And when we were in America, just ate them.
Do you know what I love about Cheetos is that they actually dye the skin on your
It's got
fingers.
like an orange tint.
Yep.
I mean,
What is it
on
doing to
earth
our
is in
insides?
them?
At least, do they still sell bags of sherbet to children?
No, I think they stopped selling.
they?
When
Yeah,
I was
you
younger,
go and get a quarter in a
yeah.
little paper bag, and we're just eaten half a bag of sugar with every bad colouring and flavour
The good
possible.
old days, eh?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Okay, what food sums up happiness for you? Gracie, you can go first.
I really like cream.
Okay.
I really like it. It's the one thing that hasn't changed since I was younger. I eat it with every single meal. So I'll say I have like weird fixations over food. I'll find a food and I'll eat it constantly for about 6 or 7 months, and I'll never be able to touch it again. But cream is the one thing I've always stuck with
Been
it.
the most consistent.
Yeah.
And Grandad's cranberry sauce.
Yeah, but
You have that with
like
everything.
a condiment.
Yeah, but you do have it with everything.
Yeah.
Grandad makes it for
Very
every Christmas, and it
strange
says, "Do
diet.
not touch. This belongs to Gracie."
Oh, I love
And
that.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I eat out.
Yeah.
Really.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Anna, what food sums up happiness for you?
A roast dinner, because of what it represents, and it's usually about bringing all the family together. And I just love a roast of anything, chicken, beef, and I love a good roast potato with garlic and rosemary.
Yes.
I like to cook with as many herbs as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That and as a comfort, because it's like happiness or comfort. Just sometimes wheat bix with real sugar, even though I don't have a lot of sugar, and ice cold milk. Sometimes
I like that.
It just takes you back to your childhood. It's the simple things.
It is. It's a simple and the nostalgic things as well, I think, that are the most sort of comforting. Okay, final question. Live to eat or eat to live?
Oh, God.
We're getting philosophical as a final question.
I used to eat to live, and now I live to eat. I eat to be healthy in order to live.
Okay. Oh, I like that. I see what you did there.
Mm.
Okay. That's an acceptable answer.
Yeah. And I enjoy food very much. I fall between the cracks. Sometimes if I'm too busy, I forget. And I have to remind myself. And then, there you go.
Sort of take the crisps away and get the kefir out.
Yeah. Well, I just think when you go through a period of being incredibly healthy, the benefits are so obvious to me. The amount of energy, the focus, and the whole messaging of "we are what we eat" is so very true. And if I love bananas, and I have a banana every day, and I think I must have low potassium levels. Gracie despises bananas. I don't think she's ever eaten a banana.
I love you, Gracie. I really can't wait to cook for you one day.
It really is.
Really good.
I don't know what I'm going to make for you one day. I don't know, some cream and
I really like your cake.
Cream with cream.
I'm lucky you even like that.
Like your cake.
Gracie, do you live to eat or eat to live?
I can't wait to hear this one.
I have a similar answer. I think I enjoy food more the older I get.
Okay.
But I think, especially over the past 2 years, because it's been such intense work, I've just sometimes completely forgotten to, I didn't put my nutrition and diet first, and I should have. So I think live to eat. No, sorry, I can't think what way this is. Eat to live. Eat to live.
Yeah.
The older I get, live to eat.
Like
because I'm getting more
Yeah.
into, nutrition.
Yeah. And
Things
you're,
like
you're
that.
cooking more. Your
Yeah.
palate is developing.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll ever go a day, even if you're up to 97, without having peanut butter and Nutella with strawberries.
Oh, I love
actually
that. Oh,
put
that's what I
fruit
should
with-
have said. Can I change my answer? I
Which,
really like
wait, which one? Let me just write this up. Sorry, which
peanut
answer?
butter.
For what?
For
for happiness?
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Crunchy or smooth?
either or.
Okay.
And we've started
eat
having
it out
peanut
there.
butter now because she was eating so much of it that the dangers of palm
Oh,
oil
no,
and
that-
saying we've had to find
That made my skin
palm oil
very
free.
bad.
It
yeah.
did.
But
Yeah.
they do. There's so many great ones out there now that
Yeah.
don't use palm oil.
But it's
Thank
just not
God.
as- I like the, really creamy ones.
But
The
do you know-
healthy ones are a bit.
But have you not tried something like pippa nut? Do you have like ones with
I
like
like
maple
those,
in
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
or you know, I mean, because Nutella is my thing, but I only allow myself to buy it once a year for Pancake Day.
Yeah, I'm
because
not
if
a
I
big-
I
I'm
can't
not
be
a big
trusted.
You
Nutella
started
person.
going after that. I think because there's been so much information just saying how bad it is for us.
Yeah.
So then, but then even like with hot chocolate, you'll make a hot chocolate and we'll make it out just milk and grated chocolate.
Gorgeous.
So
Love that.
you just go back to the original
Yeah.
raw recipe of how it was done for years and years and years.
Mhm.
Oh, ladies, this has been such a pleasure to have you on. I'm obsessed by the fact that Anna Friel loves crisps as much as I do. I think we need a little crisp date one day.
Yeah.
Let's go to the newsagent and just do a salad.
Okay.
Gracie, you can come with some
just watch you
cream.
guys eat
we eat
it.
some cream. I'll give you a
You're
spoon.
the
I'll
cream
give
in
you a
the
spoon
corner.
for your peanut butter.
So excited.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Aw.
Thank you so much for celebrating the 100th episode with me. Thank you for loving the cake.
Thank you for having me.
Until
Don't
next
finish that off.
time.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. If you love what you hear, please subscribe and review. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Crazy Sexy Food and check out the Crazy Sexy Food YouTube channel. Until next time, bye.